All right, good morning, traders. Today is April 17th, 2024, 2 days after tax day. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and everybody else out there in video land that is part of my subscriptions. My SPY pivot this morning, 507. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 except Diamond Dow all of the Fab 5 are in downtrends. All except for Diamond Dow made lower highs, lower lows, closing below the bearish trap, which is also below the 17 EMA. Diamond Dow made an inside day, also doing the same thing, closing below the bearish trap and below the 17 EMA. Gold, near the all-time high, made a higher low and a higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Silver near a 3-year high, made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO also in an uptrend. By the way, gold and silver are in uptrends. If I didn't say it, they're near all-time highs, but just want to let you know that. USO in an uptrend, made a higher high and a higher low, closing inside the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. UNG in a downtrend near the all-time low, made an outside day, closing under the trap under the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in an uptrend, creeped a little higher, closing the day around the 106.35 area. All right, let's take a look at some charts. First chart, SPY, okay? Lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap right here. Bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. 10 minutes, all right. So where's my pivot? 507, which is pretty much the low of the breakdown candle right here. Okay, the anchored VWAP for the low, so it's right here. So we get up over that. I want to be a bull. As long as we're under it, probably going to be a bear. All right, so there's SPY. 507 is my pivot. And you can see price action has come up to this area once, twice, and 3 times. They're visiting this area. So if we get up on top of this, I want to be a bull. As long as we're underneath it, I want to be a bear. So go back to the daily chart. All right, let's take a look at. We still haven't hit this anchored trend line, anchored VWAP right there. I still think we may have some room down. We'll see what happens. That is a indecision candle right there. So we'll see what happens right there. If they get below that, they may want to spike it into the 500 number. I would think the 500 number is a target because it's, a big fat round number. I think they want to go down there and hit that. So I think we consolidate. Now, yesterday's price action, if you look at the 15-minute chart, I kind of thought that we would just do a whole lot of consolidating. Now, the range was from, you can see here, 502.35 up to 506.26. So there's a few plays to be made or had inside there, not much. But for the most part, it was an inside day. Not an inside day, just a range-bound day. Only getting to the lows and the highs just for 15 minutes or so, and then retracing back. So it was best to sell sell time. So I did a lot of spreads yesterday. And I'm probably going to do a lot of the same again today until they break out, is keep those spreads on. All right, so that's my plan for today. There's SPY. All right, let's take a look at QQQ on the daily chart. All right, so here's QQQ on the daily chart. Lower high, lower low. Closing below the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. So all 3 under the 17 EMA. QQQ in a downtrend. They're all in a downtrend. Still got a stuffy nose. All right, FNGU. All right, FNGU, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap, also under the 17 EMA. All right, still in a downtrend. Okay, let's take a look at, just did QQQ. Let's do IWM. Then we'll visit Diamond Dow. Here's IWM, okay, in a downtrend, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, below the 17 EMA. Okay, now, let me just say, all of the Fab 5 are in bullish flags. Okay, but inside that bullish flag, they are experiencing daily downtrends right now because they're making lower highs and lower lows. At some point, I would expect some of this major support to kick in and initiate a bounce back up towards the top of the flag, or at least the midpoint of quadrant 4 of that bull flag that they're in. So here's IWM, like I said, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. So there's IWM. Now Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow, UNH seemed to help out Diamond Dow yesterday. Higher low, lower high, inside day, Diamond Dow, but closing below the bearish trap. Also underneath 17 EMA, you can see his price action hitting that, see that diagonal support line right there. So there's Diamond Dow. So they're right into the top of this consolidation, which I drew in here yesterday. You can see that's minor support. You're getting little micro bounces right now. So eventually we'll see if this is going to hold and send them back up here to this falling 17 EMA. So there's Diamond Dow. All right, let's take a look at our technicals for yesterday. We stayed in the oversold zone the whole day, all right? I think we got darn near zero here, 0.31. That's pretty low. I mean, that's really low. I don't even think during COVID we were down that low. I don't know. 0.31. Stayed in the oversold zone. Okay. T2123, for the most part, red all day on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, started out red, ended red, 3 candles in the middle, 3 15-minute candles were green, just to pull back the VWAP, and that's the only reason they're green, right there. On the 3-bar chart, little more space opening up between price action and the falling 17. Okay, looks like we're looking for a visit of this rising 200 on the 3-bar chart. That's what it looks like to me. So we'll see what happens, all right? They're going to connect somewhere, sometime. I think they connect before it gets back up over the prior all-time high. I think, don't quote me on that. All right, FNGU. All right, pretty much the same as T2123. You can see started out the day red, ended the day red. You can see right here. And we had about 5 to 6 candles that were green. But for the most part, here's VWAP. And you can see price action just kind of hung up right on top of VWAP. That's a good sign. All right, buyers coming in, putting in the floor. So we'll see what happens. Looks like we got a visit. Possibly later today. Possibly. We'll see if we can get over this high, back up here to this kind of flat 200 SMA, and then eventually maybe up this breakdown candle right there. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled today for a possible breakout. All right, we got a double bottom. See the double bottom right here and here on the 15-minute, making higher lows. Still haven't made the higher high. Okay. So looking at that breakout, I can see him leaning on that higher high. So we could see a bounce in the SPY today. We'll see what happens. And that would be normal to for price action to bounce to, fall and then pull back to the mean. In other words, the midpoint. And then consolidate there and see what it wants to do from there. So that would be a normal move. So here we are where they fall. Now price probably pulls back to the mean, which would be pretty much close to this consolidation here and even close to that breakdown candle. So we'll see what happens. So there's FNGU. All right, so let's go back. Let's take a look at some energy. Let's just do a UNG, all right? So UNG yesterday prints, guess what? Another new all-time low, all right? Was an outside day with a lower low and a higher high, but they closed underneath the bearish trap, underneath the falling 17 EMA. UNG prints a new all-time low yesterday. Okay, enough of the bad news. All right, USO. USO still in an uptrend. All right, we've got a higher, let me check this out. Yeah, we've got a higher high and a higher low, and we closed inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. USO just consolidating. That's crude oil petroleum right there. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. All right, silver and gold. Silver does lower high, lower low, closing inside the bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend, still bullish, silver and gold. Same with USO. UNG, not bullish, bearish on UNG. All right, so here's gold. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA. Gold in an uptrend and very bullish. All right, let's take a look at a few sectors. All right, let's try SMH first. All right, so SMH, still bull flagging. They could take out this low. That would put them in a downtrend. It's kind of iffy if you want to call it. It is a downtrend because it made a lower low than this low right here. Okay, so it's in a downtrend, so to speak. But really, it's a big bull flag if you look at it on the bigger picture. So it's a downtrend. Yesterday's price action, a lower low, lower high, closing inside the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. That's not a falling 17. It kind of looks flat there. So SMH in a downtrend. Not a very convincing downtrend, though. SMH. XLK. Here's technology. All right. So technology, lower high, lower low, in a downtrend as well. Closing below the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. See, this one's curling over more right there. But again, that's a bull flag right there. So there's XLK. So XLI, these are industrials. Okay, industrials still in an uptrend until they pop this low right here. Okay, about 120, right through there, 120. 121, below 121. Yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap, which is also below the 17 EMA. Industrial still in an uptrend. All right. You could call it a downtrend if you want to print that low right there. It's hard to say. They made a new all-time high on the same day they put in that low. Tough call right there, XLI. All right, IYT, transports. All right, in a downtrend, they broke the low. Right here, lower highs, lower lows. Lower high, lower low, closing below the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. Transports in a downtrend. Okay, last one, XLF. It's like deja vu. I had this problem yesterday. All right, well, that's firing up. Let's just go on to start off with economic calendar. Okay, so yesterday, Mr. Powell spoke at 1:15. Kind of hawkish on the outlook for the economy, all in all, but didn't cause any real damage as far as I could see. Damage may come in today. We'll see what happens. In the pre-market, I think the SPY's poised for a bounce up. But anyways, MBA mortgage applications came in at 7 this morning. Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations. That's a mouthful. 10 o'clock this morning. And as always on Wednesday at 10:30, we got a petroleum report. Beige book at 2. And a couple of Fed speakers. And that's about it right there for today. The main event was yesterday. Thursday, we got jobless claims at 8:30. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. 8:30, couple of Fed speakers, existing home sales at 10, leading indicators at 10, and a gas report at 10:30 on Thursday. All right, just like there is every Thursday. Okay, on Friday, Goolsby's going to speak, and we got a rig count at 1 p.m. That's it. Really light week this week. Really, really light week. Probably just more continuation of what we got. Unless, of course, earnings flip us around, right? So this morning, ASML is going to report 375 billion. Yep, that's billion. All right, so there's a nice, there's some outlook right there for the market. Abbott Labs, 188 billion. They're going to report this morning. Prologis, 107 billion. They're going to report this morning. CSX, I think that's railways. I'm not sure. They're going to report tonight. And a few other notables, but nothing really market moving. Thursday. All right, Thursday. Taiwan Semiconductor, almost $750 million there, of a trillion. $750 billion. Netflix, 262 billion. They're going to report tomorrow night. So 3 big ones reporting tomorrow night. Intuitive Surgical, Netflix, and Taiwan Semiconductors. All right. So right there. So that would makes for an interesting Friday. And then Friday we got in the morning Procter & Gamble, 365 billion. American Express, 158 billion. Schlumberger, 74 billion. All in the morning. So that'll kick off the morning along with Thursday's evening reports. Expecting some movement on Friday. Probably pick a new direction instead of down. We'll see what happens. We're going to need some good earnings and some good guidance. I'm expecting something to happen Friday. So we'll see what happens. All right, so Max Payne for today, 506. Pretty sure we got close to that in the pre-market. All right, we'll take a peek at that after. U.S. dollar index, still in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, you can see us climbing. See that? Break climbing a little bit higher down this breakdown candle right there. Right there. We are slowly climbing our way up to that top to challenge this prior high. All right, so there's price action yesterday. We closed right around 106.35. Okay, so maybe some more upside again today. We'll see what happens. So there's U.S. dollar index. Oh, by the way, I picked up an Apex, what do they call it? Evaluation account. All right, so I picked up the $50,000 Apex evaluation account. I'm going to be starting to trade that this week. That's a futures trading. It's not Forex. It does have a little Forex on there, but it's mainly futures trading. All right, so we'll monitor my success or failure in that one. I expect to succeed, by the way. So we'll see what happens. All right. So this is what it looks like. This is not it. This is just a practice account right now that I've been just playing around with. But I'm going to plan to crank that up as soon as I get a pattern going today that I like the looks of, or a place I can see a bounce coming. All right. So, hey, good morning, Lorraine. So I'm going to take questions in the room. All right. So I'll take questions, and if there's no questions, I'll render my video. All right. So starting some futures trading.